everybody, it's Brenda with My Pastor's Wife Designs, and today we are going to make this beautiful card. Again, it's in my vintage series, and this one is decidedly feminine. However, we are using Guy Greetings because I love this car. And my husband has a street rod. I love old cars and the whole street rod scene, and I thought, well, why not do something feminine with the Guy Greetings? And so this is what I came up with. So if you will join me, I will be happy to show you how to make this. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on this card. And as I said, it is a vintage collage card with the car, the antique car, which I just love because I love street rods. We have one ourselves, and so it's kind of fun to be able to make a feminine card using the Guy Greetings. So today we're going to be using touches of texture, and I'm going to be using the splatter pattern. Then I am also going to use timeless textures, and I want to use this one right here because I think it looks kind of like tire tread. Then, as I mentioned, Guy Greetings, and I'm going to use the car. Kinda eclectic, and I will be using the leaves and the butterfly. And then I've also used the labeler alphabet, and I think I've mentioned before in some of my other videos that oftentimes I will pre-stamp a lot of my words because it takes a while and it can really slow you down when you want to whip up a card. So for instance, for this card I'm going to be using words, the words "an open road," "a sunset to follow." The word "and" is what I did with "follow." I found a stamp from an old stamp set I had that said "follow your bliss," and I just simply used the word "follow." So like I said, pre-stamp some of your words so you have lots of words to use down the road. It just really saves you a lot of time. And those are stamped in Early Espresso on Craft. All right, so we're ready to get going here. I am going to grab a couple of clear blocks so that I can actually stamp when I'm ready. And I am going to be using a piece of Whisper White, and I'm using the heavier cardstock, the little bit thicker, because I am going to be doing some layering on it and it's going to hold up to that a little bit better. And I want to get out my Wisteria Wonder ink pad, and I'm actually going to be doing a little bit of coloring to get some texture on my background. Also going to get out my So Saffron. And I'm going to get a little dauber, and hang on, I'm going to get rid of my dog. All right, I'm going to dip that in there, and then I'm just going to kind of, let's see what I'm doing here. Just getting a little ink on here. Going to work it in a little bit, and it's not going to matter a whole lot if you have like little heavy spots that show up where your dauber did that round thing, because, and you can stamp off too, but it's all going to be covered up. And then I'm also going to just take my ink pad and flip it over and kind of give it some swirls and some texture. Again, it's not going to, all right, you see how we did that? We kind of gave it a swirly look. Then I want to do the same thing with my So Saffron. I dip this, and I'm going to kind of just swirl this in through here. I don't want it all over like I put the purple or the Wisteria Wonder, but I'm going just kind of like that. Then I want to get my Wisteria Wonder out again, and out of my stamp sets I am getting the one that I said I feel like looks like tire tread out of the Timeless Textures. Stick that on a block. Alrighty. And I am simply going to dip that into my ink here, and again, just layering, giving it some texture. And it really doesn't look very pretty right now, I will give you that. I really think that collage cards are not terribly attractive until you get your all your layering and stamping and stuff done. Now I want to, while I have my Wisteria Wonder open, I'm going to get the Kind of Eclectic, and I want that butterfly right there, the one that looks like netting. Stick it on a clear block. And I know sometimes people have trouble with those sticking on a clear block. There's all kinds of tricks. I'm going to stamp that right there. And let's put another one over here flying off the page. Now I am finished with my Wisteria Wonder. I'm going to set it aside, get it out of my way. Then I want to take some Always Artichoke, and this time I'm going to stamp two things. So I have a piece, another piece of just our regular Whisper White. It is 2 1/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches. I'm going to set that here. I want, out of my Kind of Eclectic, I'm going to get this leaf stamp, because I want it. I'll go ahead and get it mounted on a clear block as well. And then I want to get my car out of Guy Greetings. So I'm going to grab that really quickly and find another clear block and get it mounted. Now I'm going to use the Always Artichoke on my Whisper White, and is what I do to get a nice crisp image is I'll set it down here on the paper, and then I don't rock it, but I do press hard, and I just hold it for a minute so that the paper pulls the ink off of the stamp, and that always seems to give me a really nice crisp, clear image. And it'll come up with it always, it seems like. There we go, and I just think that looks so pretty. And it really reminds me of the old-time cars, just that color even. I'm going to set this aside for just a second. I'm going to pull my card base back, and we're going to go ahead and use the Always Artichoke again and stamp these leaves, and this will just be really random. There. A lot of these mostly will be covered up, but there will be pieces of them that I want to see. And then maybe just up here by the butterfly. There we go. All right, we're done with the leaves, and we're done with our Always Artichoke. Now, I'm going to set that aside, and I want to pull my words that I showed you that I already had ready. And I'm going to, out of my Touches of Texture, I'm going to get my splatter. This splatter, I'm telling you, is one of my all-time favorites. I use it all of the time. I'm going to get out another trusty block. Like I said, I'm going to get my words over here and splatter them. So I've got an open road, my sunset, and the and. Going to use Crumb Cake for this. Again, don't have to be precise because that's the idea of layering and collage, and I want to just give that a stamp. Do the same for you and this one. All right, now I have a piece of craft cardstock that I've cut out because we're going to be using it to make some flowers. And I think I just cut a piece, I think it's just a scrap. This one happens to be 5 by 3.5, but it really doesn't matter because we're just going to be punching. And I want to go ahead also with my crumb cake and get some splatters on it as well. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be punched. Okay, so we are done with our ink, and we're going to use the Pansy Punch, which is a favorite of mine. In fact, this is my second one. I used one so much I actually wore it out. And we are going to punch a couple of these, maybe 3. Now, I want to just line these little guys up, and I am going to use my Wink of Stella. This one is the gold, and I'm going to color over these guys. They're going to get all shiny and girly. I love the Wink of Stella because it does not drip glitter all over the house. And we are not, I mean, I think glitter is really pretty when you see it on things. It is not really fun to vacuum up, or when it's on chairs or ends up on other people's clothes. Not a big fan of glitter. So the Wink of Stella is so pretty because it just dries all shiny and sparkly and glittery, and dries really fast too. I'm going to get all of these little guys colored. Right. And then they're going to just dry for a minute or two while we get this card kind of layered and put together. So I'm going to set those aside. I'm going to come back with my other Wink of Stella, which is the clear, and I want to go over the butterflies. Just going to give them some shine right here on my card face, and this guy right here. And it's hard to see on the camera, I realize that, but boy, do they shimmer and shine when you're looking at them in person. I don't know if that helps or if you can even see the shine. You kind of have to move it around and stuff, but it really does make a difference. Now I'm going to let that dry for just a shake, and I want to go ahead and I am going to get this piece layered, and I'm going to use 3 layers. I'm also using a piece of craft for that, and it is 2 3/4 by 2 inches. And then I have a piece of Wisteria Wonder, which is 3 inches by 2 1/4 inches. And I have my Fast Fuse, which, as we all probably know by now, is my favorite. And my silicone mat, because that way I don't make such a mess. I'm going to go ahead and light touch, check mark, put that there. I'm going to do the same thing with my car. Right there. And then I'm going to put it right on my card face. Now, I want it right here in the corner. Okay, now I want to get out some Stampin' Dimensionals because I'm going to do a little bit of popping and layering. And then I also have a piece of Tip Top Taupe. It's an older ribbon, but any ribbon that you have will work. I think I have about, well, let me just tell you what I have here. 7 inches. I'm going to make a circle behind one of these flowers. Let's go ahead and put our first word on it. It's an open road. Going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals. Wow, I said that well. Stamping Dimensionals. Go ahead and peel their backs off. And I want to place that right here at the top of my card. at a little tiny bit of an angle, but still on the card. There, that pops up. Now, so what we're going to do is take a bone folder or anything else that'll kind of crumple this up, and is what I do is kind of give it a little smooshy, and then I use my fingers and crunch it up even more. And I do that with all 3 of them. Like I said, you can use your bone folder, just use your fingers. I think just whatever works best for you. And then my final one here. And on this, now I'm going to use some fast fuse here. I'm going to put one right down on the card about right here, and I'm going to put the second one right there. Now I will take my ribbon, and what I like to do is just put some fast fuse down here, pretty good bit of it, and just kind of gather this into a little bunchy circle. I make a mess because my idea is to have this kind of be layered. All right, get that to stick down, and then just put a little bit of fast fuse right there to stick that one down, and maybe this one. There we go. Now I want to take this one and I'm going to set it down in the middle here, and I still don't love how that's working, so let's go ahead and tuck you in. Okay, I want to put another Stampin' Dimensional on this. Actually, I will probably use 2. Well, maybe I won't have to. Let's just see. And I'm going to press it down in the center of that. And then I want to put a center in it, and I'm going to use a pearl. I'm going to go right there, and I want to put one right here as well. All right, and then I want my and. Going to use Stampin' Dimensionals again to pop that off of the flower just a touch. And finally, a sunset to follow. I'm going to put it in an angle like this, and again I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals. If you want to mail a card like this, there is extra postage because it is non-machinable, and that is 20 cents extra if it stays under an ounce. Or you can stick a piece of flat cardstock over top of everything so that it's uniform. Then you're only paying for the weight. You're not paying for the embellishments because they're not popping through the card. All right, so let's go ahead and put this right here at an angle. And there you have it, an open road and a sunset to follow. Again, I think this is a really pretty feminine vintage card, but still uses Guy Greetings and all the layering, and I just think it's a lot of fun, and I really hope you enjoyed it as well. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you join me again at My Pastor's Wife Designs for our next video in Steampunk and Vintage. Have a great day.